All right, AI government contractors, it's another chat and drive, and we're also 24 hours away from our very first AI GovCon challenge. The link is in the description if you want to join the challenge. The doors are going to be closed at 6 a.m. tomorrow. But guys, today I wanted to talk to you about two case studies. I've had an experience in the past 2 weeks that I would like to talk to you about. And these experiences are not necessarily good experiences from the start, but they all ended up well. And we used artificial intelligence tools to solve the problems. And that's what I want to talk about today. But guys, let's get on this drive. It's very cold today. It's a cold day. And it's also sunny at the same time. Yesterday, it snowed for 5 minutes and then became sunny the next 5 minutes. So that's the kind of season we're seeing out here in Toronto. But no matter what the weather is saying, there's one thing I can tell you for sure. Every day I wake up, I'm thinking about new ways to solve my problems with less effort. You know? Similar to how AI comes into the equation here and solves a lot of the problems I'm about to talk about. So one of my clients won a 6-figure contract. And a few days after winning the contract, we received an email from the government saying that we need to stop work immediately because the contract was protested by a different company who claimed that they could perhaps fulfill the contract at a better cost. This is called a bid protest, and this is something that does happen. And there are 3 outcomes to expect, 3 possible outcomes. The first one is that the bid protest takes a lot of time and the contract just gets terminated and nobody gets the contract. That's one scenario. There's another scenario where the company that actually protested your bid would actually win. The contract will be given to the other company and you will be left in the dust. Or the third outcome, which is the outcome that most people would want to have, is the outcome where you win the contract, you get the contract back. Now, immediately we got the email, we started researching about the process. I'll be honest, I've never had a bid protest before. This was the first time. And there's not much you can do as well, you know? Like, once the protest has been submitted, you're going to stop work immediately, whether the protest is baseless or it has merit. So that's one thing to know. Once a bid protest is filed against your contract, then you're going to have to stop work immediately. So when we got the email, we stopped our logistics and we started the appeal process. The Corps sent us a form that we needed to fill. Now, this form was full of some jagged questions. I'm not going to lie to you. Some of the questions were just kind of ridiculous. Like, why do you need to know this? There were about 7 questions. And I know how people really hate filling forms. I know. I'm one of them. I typically don't like filling forms. That's the first scenario. I'm going to tell you how we handled that. The second one was a client of mine won a contract. And the contract was for a portable LED screen for an event. Now here's the deal. The contract specified that there's going to be 1 setup and takedown. And each setup and takedown incurs cost. The subcontractor got to the location of the site and they moved the subcontractor to another location. At the end of the contract, The subcontractor had done 9, I repeat, 9 setups and takedowns, when the contract initially specified just 1. And again, the teardowns and the setups incur a cost. But the proposal was already submitted and the price had already been determined. What do you do in a situation like that? So these are the 2 scenarios I'm going to be visiting. The first one, with the bid protest, we sat down with all the questions that were required for us to answer, and we used artificial intelligence tools with information about the contract and information about the company to submit the form. The excellent thing about that particular contract is that we got it back. We ended up getting back the contract. It was a 6-figure contract with a good profit on it, a healthy profit. And in the second scenario, we needed to do something called, let me see if my memory is going to pick this up again. We needed to charge the government for the additional takedowns and setups. And I hope it comes to my mind right now. I think it's called, man, I can't remember, but I'm going to put it up on the screen because it's just escaped my mind. But we essentially needed to write to the billing department of the government, giving them a reason why we, for example, needed to charge them more. Especially given that there's a FAR that says that if there's going to be any additional cost on a project, you must contact the contracting officer first before proceeding to doing the work that would incur the additional cost. Now, in this scenario, when the sub found out that he needed to take down and set up additionally, they tried to reach out to the Corps, actually, and they were unable to. On many occasions, we attempted to reach out to the Corps with no good result at the end. But what happened was, we decided to go on with the contract and fulfill, and then we wrote this form out. Once I remember the name, I'm going to put it in the video. But essentially, we wrote this appeal, and we're waiting for a response. The point of these stories is to tell you that, look, each of these problems were very unique, but we could find a solution using artificial intelligence tools, because most of the government procurement process is administrative. And if you've been watching this channel for over 5 minutes, you would know that the major thing we can use to reduce our administrative burden is AI. This is not some kind of fancy notion to get you to pay for another subscription of ChatGPT. I have no affiliation with them. It's not a fancy story to get you to have another subscription of Claude AI. I don't have affiliate links to these companies, but I understand exactly how useful they are when it comes to taking the load of administrative burden off the shoulders of business people. That is the mission of the AI GovCon, to show you how to be skillful with artificial intelligence tools in such a way that you will have the ability to solve your administrative problems without tears. Guys, that's what I wanted to tell you today. We have a 3-day challenge starting in about 24 hours. I want you to use the link in the description to register for the 3-day challenge. It's going to be explosive. I'm going to have Carlos, Glorimar, showing you how they won contracts using artificial intelligence tools to make the process simple. Guys, my name is Godwin, and see you at the challenge.